Imagine a sky not choked by the suffocating grip of oxidized dust and iron, but a sky painted in the deepest hues of sapphire and cerulean. Imagine a horizon where the sun doesn't set as a cold, distant blue dot, but as a golden giant dipping beneath the waves of a vast, roaring northern ocean. We have been told for decades that Mars is a graveyard, a frozen, irradiated wasteland where life is a dream that never quite woke up. But what if the rover tracks and the satellite imagery are only scratching the surface of a much darker, much more profound truth? What if the red dust we see today is actually the ashes of a civilization that thrived while Earth was still a chaotic volcanic nightmare? Welcome to Chronicle Nexus, your portal into the deepest mysteries of the cosmos and the speculative futures that await us. Today, we aren't just looking at the stars, we are looking back through the corridor of time, 3.5 billion years into the past. We are diving into a cinematic exploration of a lost world, a world where the atmosphere was thick, the rivers ran deep, and the inhabitants faced a countdown they couldn't stop. This is the story of the Martians 3.5 billion, a journey into the heart of a mystery that is set to redefine everything we know by the year 2026. As we stand on the precipice of a new era of space exploration, with missions slated to bring back Martian soil samples and humans preparing to leave their footprints on the red planet, the narrative is shifting. For years, scientists focus on microbial life, the tiny organisms that might have survived in the brine. But there is a growing, silent whisper in the halls of theoretical physics and xenoarchaeology, the whisper of a great filter that may have claimed a sister civilization right next door. The year is 2026. In our projected timeline, a deep space probe equipped with subsurface LiDAR and quantum imaging sensors begins transmitting data from the Hellas Planitia, one of the largest impact craters in the solar system. The world expects more high-resolution photos of rocks and ridges. Instead, the screens at Mission Control flicker with something impossible. Underneath kilometers of sediment and volcanic basalt, the sensors map out geometric symmetries that nature does not produce. They find the skeleton of a world that didn't just have water, it had purpose. To understand the scale of this mystery, we have to travel back to 3.5 billion years BC. On Earth, life was barely a whisper, single-celled organisms huddling around hydrothermal vents in the dark. But on Mars, the story was different. Because Mars is smaller, it cooled faster than Earth. It got a head start on the race for habitability. While Earth was still a molten hellscape, Mars was already a garden. The Martian atmosphere of this era was a heavy, protective blanket. Clouds of water vapor drifted over the Tharsis volcanic plateau, feeding massive river systems like the Valles Marineris, not as a dry canyon, but as a majestic network of fjords and rushing whitewater. This wasn't a world of survival, it was a world of abundance. And in this cinematic reimagining, we see the rise of a people, the Martians. They wouldn't have looked like the little green men of 1950s pulp fiction. Evolution would have carved them out of a lower gravity environment. Tall, elegant, perhaps with skin designed to harvest the specific radiation of a younger sun. Their cities wouldn't be built of steel and glass, which decay in the face of eons. Instead, they would be integrated into the very geology of the planet, subterranean hubs and cliffside dwellings carved into the basalt, designed to harness the geothermal energy of a core that was still very much alive. These were the architects of a dying dream! Because even at their peak, the Martians knew something we are only just beginning to realize. Their world was fragile. Their planet's heart was slowing down. Mars, for all its early beauty, lacked the one thing that has kept Earth alive for 4 billion years. A massive, churning iron core capable of maintaining a global magnetic shield for the long haul. 3.5 billion years ago, the Martian dynamo began to fail. The invisible shield that protected the atmosphere from the sun's relentless solar wind started to flicker and fade. Think of it as a slow-motion apocalypse. It wasn't a sudden explosion or a meteor strike, it was a thinning. The air began to leak into the void. The oceans began to boil off into space, atom by atom. The Martians weren't just fighting a war against each other or against nature. They were fighting a war against the physics of their own planet. As we explore this cinematic vision of 2026, we see the echoes of their final attempts to survive. In the deep trenches and the shielded valleys, the last of the Martian cities would have been sealed under massive domes of ice and regolith. This is the mystery that Chronicle Nexus is obsessed with. What did they leave behind for us to find? If you were a civilization that knew your planet was destined to become a desert, would you leave a message? Would you bury your history deep enough that only a spacefaring successor could find it? The 2026 discovery isn't just about finding old buildings. It's about the Martian Archive, a theoretical repository of knowledge that suggests the Martians didn't just die out. They may have planted the seeds for what would eventually become life on Earth. This theory, known as panspermia, suggests that as the Martian atmosphere stripped away, massive asteroid impacts could have launched Martian rocks, containing biological precursors or even genetic blueprints straight into the path of a young, cooling Earth. But let's look closer at the visual evidence that our fictional 2026 mission uncovers. Imagine a camera panning across the dusty plains of Utopia Planitia. The wind howls, a lonely sound that has echoed for billions of years. Suddenly, the ground gives way, revealing a vertical shaft that descends into the dark. As the drone's spotlight cuts through the gloom, it hits a wall of polished obsidian. On that wall, there are carvings. Not a language we can read, but a language of mathematics, the universal tongue of the stars. The carvings depict a solar system with 2 blue planets, 2 jewels side by side. Then, a sequence showing one jewel turning red and brown while the other begins to glow with the green of budding life. It is a map, a legacy, a warning. The Martians didn't just live, they observed. They saw Earth, our Earth, as their only hope for a future, even if they couldn't survive to see it
Increasing
themselves.
the transparency now.
This brings us to the
internal
core of
architecture
the
we've been
mystery.
looking for.
Why has it taken us
The
so
resonance
long
frequency
to
is
see
stable.
this? Some theorists argue that the evidence has been right in front of us for decades, hidden in the face on Mars or the strange pyramids of Cydonia. Dismissed by mainstream science as mere pareidolia, the human brain's tendency to see patterns in random shapes. But in the context of our 2026 cinematic reveal, we learn that those natural formations were actually the eroded husks of megastructures, worn down by 3 billion years of global dust storms. When you strip away the layers of red sand, you don't find rocks. You find the bones of a world that was once more vibrant than our own. You find the story of the Martians. As we move deeper into this exploration here on Chronicle Nexus, we must ask ourselves, if we are the descendants of a Martian exodus, what does that mean for our future? Are we destined to return to our ancestral home, or are we simply repeating the cycle of a civilization that outstays its welcome on a finite planet? The silence of Mars is not the silence of a world that never lived. It is the silence of a tomb that is waiting to be opened. And in 2026, the key will finally turn in the lock. The short film Mystery isn't just about what happened back then. It's about the chilling realization that we are not the first, and we may not be the last. The 3.5 billion isn't just a number. It's a bridge between 2 worlds, a testament to the endurance of life, and a haunting cinematic reflection of our own mortality in the vastness of the cosmos. As the sun sets on our introduction to this ancient Martian world, we prepare to descend into the specifics of the ruins, the technology they might have possessed, and the terrifying cosmic event that finally silenced the Red Planet. Still Stay with us as we peel back the veil of time. The descent begins, not with a roar of engines, but with a hushed, reverent glide into the shadow of Valles Marineris. Here, the scale of Martian ambition reveals itself. This is no mere canyon. It is a scar of industry and art, etched into the very crust of the planet. As we delve deeper, the red dust gives way to the iridescent gleam of obsidian foundations, structures that defy the brutal physics of the Martian environment. These are the ruins of a civilization that did not merely inhabit the world, but reshaped it in their image. The architecture is a haunting fusion of the organic and the geometric, with monolithic spires that spiral upward like frozen smoke. Constructed from a basalt glass alloy that has survived eons of corrosive storms. To understand the Martians of 3.5 billion years ago, one must look at the geometry of their survival. Their cities were not built on the surface as ours are. They were woven into the geography. We see colossal arches that bridge chasms kilometers wide, designed with a mathematical precision that suggests a profound understanding of harmonic resonance. In these ruins, there is no sign of the crude iron and steel of human industry. Instead, the walls are interlaced with translucent filaments, nanostructures that once pulsed with the lifeblood of the planet. These were living cities, powered by the geothermal heartbeat of a younger, more volcanic Mars. The technology they possessed wasn't just advanced, it was integrated. It was a civilization that had moved beyond the need for wires and combustion, mastering the manipulation of matter at a molecular level. Imagine walking through these silent halls today. The air is gone, the warmth is a memory, yet the echoes of their presence remain in the way the light hits the crystalline panels. In the film's vision, we see flickering holographic remnants, ghostly imprints of a data stream that has been degrading for millions of centuries. These echo logs reveal a society that was deeply philosophical, obsessed with the concept of the Great Cycle. They weren't just building a world, they were preparing for something. The Martians understood the fragility of their cosmic neighborhood. Their technology was focused on planetary shielding and atmospheric stabilization, efforts that suggest they knew their time was finite. We see massive aerospires that once pumped oxygen and moisture into the sky, desperate lungs of a dying world trying to hold on to its breath. But what of the 3.5 billion? As we explore the deeper archives of these ruins, the number begins to take on a more sinister and profound meaning. It isn't just a marker of time, it appears in their inscriptions as a countdown, or perhaps a quota. In the film, the protagonists discover a central chamber, a cathedral of data, where the number 3.5 billion is etched into the floor in a language of light. Is it the number of souls lost, or is it the number of seeds sent out into the void? This leads us to the terrifying realization of their technological peak, the Diaspora Project. Faced with the inevitable cooling of their planet's core and the subsequent stripping of their atmosphere by solar winds, the Martians didn't just build bunkers, they built life-carrying vessels. They realized that Mars was a sinking ship, and they turned their entire civilization's remaining resources into a singular act of cosmic preservation. The cosmic event that silenced the Red Planet was not a sudden explosion or a singular asteroid strike, but a slow, agonizing suffocation, a great scouring that lasted millennia. The film depicts this with haunting cinematic gravity. We witness the collapse of the Martian magnetosphere, the invisible shield that protected the planet from the sun's lethal radiation. Without it, the atmosphere began to bleed into space, a visible trail of golden vapor trailing behind the planet like a funeral shroud. The oceans, once vast and deep enough to rival Earth's, began to boil away at the surface while freezing at the depths. The tragedy of the Martians was not a lack of foresight, but a battle against the inevitable laws of entropy. Their technology, as magnificent as it was, could only delay the sun's hunger. During this era of collapse, the Martians turned their gaze toward the third rock from the sun, a young, volatile, but vibrant Earth. Here, the mystery deepens. The technology found in the Martian ruins shows blueprints not for ships of war, but for biocaskets. These were the carriers of the 3.5 billion, not beings, but genetic sequences, the concentrated essence of 1 billion years of evolution, condensed into a form that could survive the vacuum of space. The cinematic narrative suggests that we are not looking at the ruins of an alien race, but the ruins of our predecessors. The silence of the red planet was the price paid for the noise of the green one. Every monument, every shard of glass in the Martian dust. It's a testament to the sacrifice of a world that chose to die so that life itself might endure elsewhere. The scale of this sacrifice is visualized in the Hall of Finality, a massive chamber where the last Martians gathered. There are no remains, no bones. The film implies a process of digital ascension or biological sublimation, where they converted their physical forms into the very seeds they launched toward Earth. The ruins we see are hollow because the people literally became the cargo. This elevates the mystery from a mere archaeological find to a profound existential mirror. When we look at the face of Mars today, we're looking at a tombstone, yes, but also a cradle. The technology they left behind, the dormant terraforming engines and the silent quantum computers, was never meant to be reclaimed by them. It was left as a legacy, a set of instructions for their descendants to one day find when they were finally ready to return home. As the camera pans across the rusted valleys and the skeletal remains of their great aerospires, the sense of isolation is overwhelming. The 3.5 billion narrative challenges our place in the universe. It suggests that our history did not begin in the primordial soup of Earth, but in the sophisticated laboratories and dying cities of a neighbor world. The terrifying cosmic event wasn't just the death of a planet. It was the birth of a mystery that has spanned eons. The silence of Mars is a scream that has taken billions of years to reach our ears. In the final movements of this exploration, we begin to see the cracks in the silence.
Power levels stabilizing.
Probes and explorers in the film start to pick up a signal, a rhythmic
fully active
pulsing
now.
coming from beneath the ice caps. It is the 3.5 billion frequency, a dormant heartbeat that has finally been triggered by the arrival of human observers. The technology isn't just dead metal, it's waiting. It's a bridge that has been sitting in the dark for 3.5 billion years, waiting for someone to cross it. As we move into the final phase of our journey, we must ask, are we prepared for what happens when the creators of our genetic code wake up? Are we ready to face the ghosts of a civilization that gave everything so we could exist? The ruins are no longer just ruins. They are a gateway, and the veil of time is about to be torn wide open. The moment of contact is not a roar of engines or a flash of light. It is a whisper, a rhythmic sub-harmonic pulse that vibrates through the very soles of the astronauts' boots. As the dust clears from the entrance of the Great Vault beneath the Valles Marineris, the team from the 2026 Ares mission realizes that they are not just looking at a monument. They are looking at a hard drive made of living stone and programmable matter. The veil doesn't just tear, it dissolves, revealing a reality that challenges every biological and theological foundation we have ever built. As the systems within the Martian ruins flicker to life, fueled by a power source that draws energy from the planet's own gravitational core, the air inside the chamber begins to shimmer. Holographic projections, not made of light, but of ionized particles, fill the void. They don't show wars or conquests. They show a dying world. They show the Martian atmosphere thinning, the oceans boiling away into the vacuum of space, and a desperate race against cosmic extinction. But most importantly, they show a
Atmospheric
map,
failure imminent
a map
across the northern
of a young,
hemisphere.
volcanic, and chaotic Earth. The data streaming from the Martian archives confirms the impossible. The original Martians weren't just a separate species that lived and died on a neighboring world. They were our architects! They saw the end of their world coming, and rather than trying to save a doomed planet, they chose to preserve the essence of life itself. Using advanced genetic engineering, they distilled their own biological blueprints into a resilient, microscopic form. Extremophiles capable of surviving the vacuum of space and the heat of atmospheric entry. They didn't send ships to colonize, they sent the seeds of evolution. We have spent centuries looking for aliens in the stars, looking for little green men or strange monsters, never realizing that every time we looked in a mirror, we were looking at the Martians. Our DNA contains junk sequences that scientists have puzzled over for decades, non-coding regions that seemed to serve no purpose. But as the 2026 mission decodes the Martian archives, those sequences reveal their true nature. They are encrypted messages, biological time capsules that only unlock when a species reaches a certain level of technological maturity. We didn't evolve from the Earth. We were cultivated on it. The cinematic climax of this discovery isn't just about our past, it's a warning about our future. The Martians failed to save their world because of a runaway greenhouse effect and a weakening magnetic field. The very same threats we are currently grappling with on Earth. The ruins are a library of their mistakes, a desperate plea from 3.5 billion years ago, asking their descendants not to let the same tragedy happen twice. They gave us a second chance on a green world, hoping that by the time we return to our ancestral home, we would have the wisdom to survive where they could not. As the sun sets over the red horizon in 2026, the astronauts stand among the glowing monoliths, realizing that Mars is not a graveyard. It is a cradle. The red dust is the ash of our ancestors, and the silence is the patience of a parent waiting for a child to come home. The implications are staggering. If we are the Martians, then our journey to the Red Planet isn't an invasion, it's a homecoming. Our drive to explore, our obsession with the stars, and our restless spirit are all echoes of a civilization that refused to let the flame of consciousness go out. But the story doesn't end with a simple revelation. The final archive reveals a terrifying truth. The great filter that destroyed Mars wasn't entirely natural. There is a shadow in the data, a mention of an entropy that hunts complex civilizations. By activating the ruins, by waking up the ancient Martian tech, we have sent a signal into the deep cosmos. We have announced our presence. We have told the universe that the seeds of Mars have bloomed, and the gardeners are no longer there to protect us. The 2026 mission marks the beginning of a new era. We are no longer a species with amnesia. We know who we are, where we came from, and what we are up against. The ruins of Mars have given us the technology to reach the stars, but they have also given us a target on our backs. The mystery of 3.5 billion years is solved, but the battle for the next billion has just begun. We are the legacy of a dying world, and the torch has been passed. The question is, do we have the strength to keep it lit? As we look back at the images beamed from the Ares lander, the red planet doesn't look so cold anymore. It looks like a memory, a reminder that life is a persistent, stubborn thing that will cross the void of space and wait for eons just for the chance to breathe again. We are the Martians. We are the survivors. And as the 2026 mission prepares to bring the first Martian artifacts back to Earth, we realize that the veil was never meant to keep us out. It was meant to wait until we were ready to see the truth. The journey into the unknown is far from over. In fact, the true exploration is only beginning. We have found our origins, but our destiny lies beyond the solar system. following the path our ancestors dreamed of before the first drop of water ever fell on Earth. The Martian ghosts are finally at peace, their mission accomplished. Now it is our turn to ensure that the story of life in the universe doesn't end with us. The story of the 2026 Martian discovery is more than just a science fiction tale. It is a reflection of our own deepest questions about where we come from and where we are going. As we stand on the precipice of becoming a multi-planetary species, the mysteries of our past become the blueprints for our future. If you were captivated by this journey through time and the red sands of Mars, make sure to stay tuned. Here at Chronicle Nexus, we dive deep into the mysteries of the cosmos, the what-ifs of science, and the cinematic visions of the future that keep us looking at the stars. The veil of time is tearing, and we are here to document every moment of it. Don't let the signal fade into the void. If you enjoyed this cinematic exploration, hit that like button and subscribe to Chronicle Nexus. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a transmission from the frontier of mystery and science fiction. What do you think? Are we the descendants of a lost Martian civilization, or is the truth even stranger than we imagine? Share your theories in the comments below. We read every single one of them. Thank you for watching. And remember, the universe is vast, the history is deep, and the truth is always waiting to be found. This is Chronicle Nexus, signing off. Until we meet again in the next chapter of the Cosmic Archive. Keep exploring.